Good afternoon. Tan Sri Dr. Jemla Mahmud, Special Advisor to the Prime Minister on Public Health, His Excellency Brian McPeters, the US Ambassador to Malaysia, and Mr. Oi Peng Yi, CEO of Penang Science Cluster. We are also joined today by representatives from the US Embassy, Penang Science Cluster, American Corners in Malaysia, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, as well as participating schools, teachers, and students from Penang and Kuala Lumpur. Welcome all. Thank you for joining us for the launch of Virus Hunter, a public health campaign organized by Penang Science Cluster and supported by the US Embassy, Kuala Lumpur through the American Tech Corner Penang Partnership. Virus Hunter is a project designed to educate our students about viruses, pandemics, and vaccines, a particularly apt and very necessary topic for our lives today. The project comprises three main components: an educational website where students can complete activities to earn the Virus Hunter medal, a virtual workshop in which students can go through a simulation of the vaccine development process, and a physical exhibition where visitors, children and adults alike, can learn about viruses, pandemics, and vaccines through hands-on activities. We're excited to share our knowledge and learn together with students all over Malaysia. Without further ado, let's kickstart our program today with a welcome speech by Mr. Oi Peng Yi, the CEO of Penang Science Cluster. Mr. Oi, over to you.
Thank you, Eileen. Good afternoon, and welcome to the virtual launch of this exciting Virus Hunter program. My name is Peng Yi, CEO of Penang Science Cluster. First of all, I would like to thank His Excellency, Mr. Brian McPeters, US Ambassador to Malaysia, and Tan Sri Jamila Mahmud, Special Advisor to the Prime Minister, for honoring us with their participation in today's workshop. The Virus Hunter program is proudly brought to you from a collaboration between Penang Science Cluster and the US Embassy in Malaysia, with the generous sponsorship from the Embassy. The Virus Hunter program is designed to spark students' interest in STEM, increase awareness on public health, especially in the areas of pandemics, virus, and vaccine development. The program, as Ali has mentioned, consists of a physical exhibition with interactive displays, hands-on workshops, and targeting upper primary and secondary school students. Of course, in these pandemic times, everything needs to go virtual. Likewise, the Virus Hunter program is designed to provide an enriching virtual or digital experience, supplemented by teaching kits delivered to teachers in schools to conduct workshops for their students. With such interesting content, I'm happy to say that all students all over Malaysia will get the opportunity to experience Virus Hunter, either digitally or when the physical exhibits tour the various states in Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak. We must thank the US Embassy for making this possible. Penang Science Cluster's mission is to spark interest in science and technology and create a culture of innovation among our young students in Malaysia. PSC gets a lot of support from our community, industry, foundations, Penang State Government, and of course, the US Embassy. For the Virus Hunter program specifically, I would like to thank our volunteer technical content reviewers, Dr. Kumita, Associate Professor Dr. Chandran, Josiah Liu, Dr. Ong Hian Teck, and other volunteers for helping PSC to bring this program to fruition. Last but not least, I would like to thank the US Embassy for sponsoring and partnering Penang Science Cluster on this latest initiative that will benefit our students in Malaysia. Thank you, US Embassy. Enjoy. Back to you, Ali.
Thank you, Peng Yi. So Peng Yi is absolutely right. Over the past few months, we also tested our content on different focus groups. So students from Penang and Sabah who were willing to spend their after-school hours to explore our materials and provide us valuable feedback. Thank you all to our volunteers. Next, I will pass the virtual stage to His Excellency Brian McPeters, the US Ambassador to Malaysia. Over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Ili and colleagues. It's really great to be here this afternoon.
What is this now?
Selamat sejahtera kepada semua. I'm really glad to be here for the launch of Virus Hunter, and I'm representing a team at the US Embassy working on this. This is a project that's been a long time in the making, and we really want it to be a valuable resource to educate Malaysian youth about infectious disease, vaccine development, and how they can pursue careers that help us avoid future pandemics. We really want to thank our partners on this project. Mr. Oi Peng Yi, we just heard from you. Thank you for the incredible effort you put into making this campaign ready to roll out online. And then it'll be a real presentation as well. You've done so much fantastic work despite the challenges of the pandemic. We also especially want to thank Dr. Jamila Mahmood, a friend of the embassy, an advisor to me, special advisor to the Prime Minister for Public Health, very busy person, very welcome, very happy that you can take time today to be part of this. She is playing a key role as Malaysia works to combat COVID-19, and the fact that you can talk about this program today really adds to the value of the program today. We also want to thank our distinguished guests from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Virus Hunter campaign partners around Malaysia. So let me just, from the embassy's, U.S. Embassy's point of view, put this in perspective as far as we see it with three main points. So the first point is that even though the world is in the midst of the very serious COVID-19 pandemic, we have no choice but to prepare for likely future pandemics and other health threats. The second point is that the United States, with our strong scientific capacities, is well suited to be a leader for this important task in partnership with countries like Malaysia. And third, President Biden is determined to partner with other countries, including youth and scientists in Malaysia, to take on this challenge. Selamat datang juga kepada semua pelajar dan guru yang bersama kami hari ini. Virus Hunter adalah untuk Anda, dan kami gembira Anda dapat hadir untuk pelancaran ini. Tidak dapat dinafikan bahwa dunia masih menghadapi pandemi ini. Di sini di Malaysia, Barisan Hadapan terus melakukan tugas berani untuk merawat orang yang sakit dan terus menjalankan perkhidmatan penting. Walaupun ini masih yang sukar, ini juga merupakan masa untuk kita menunjukkan kekuatan tindakan bersama dan kerjasama global dalam memerangi pandemik ini dan untuk pandemik yang masa depan juga ya. So the United States and Malaysia have a long history of working together on public health issues, including in identifying emerging diseases and threats. I was just reading a little bit of background. The US had a program called, it was titled Emerging Pandemic Threats, funded by USAID starting in 2009, working in Southeast Asia because scientists at the time knew that 3/4 of the new diseases that had emerged recently had some kind of zoonotic or animal origin. And so it's an issue that we've been working on for some time and we want to continue. The spillover from infectious agents from animals to humans has been so significant. To minimize the impact of future pandemic threats, the USAID is continuing with its Southeast Asia One Health University Network. And this is to develop the next generation of skillful and competent One Health workers through robust university and research partnerships. So hopefully you have young students, maybe a 10-year-old is going to work on this Virus Hunter program, and then he or she will become interested and become one of the university partners in the future. I know that Virus Hunter includes information about the projects that the USAID has done before, including PREDICT. And we're hoping that young Malaysians learn about what's been done and learn about what can be done in the future. More broadly, the Biden-Harris administration is also working hard to ensure our readiness and preparation for future pandemics and disease outbreaks. The Biden administration has proposed a National Center for Epidemic Forecasting and Outbreak Analytics that will modernize our early warning systems and give the global community more time to detect and respond to biological threats. Now, I think all of you are aware the United States has made the fight against COVID-19 our top foreign policy priority currently. President Biden recently said, "We value the inherent dignity of all people. In times of trouble, Americans reach out to offer help and offer a helping hand. That's who we are." Now, the United States is also the top financial donor to COVAX, the Global Vaccine Sharing Partnership, we've pledged $4 billion over the next few years. Turning to Malaysia, Dr. Jamila and I were just talking about this. The US government is in the process of donating 80 million vaccines for countries that need the most, and that includes 7 million for countries in Asia. And quite soon we will find out that there's a specific portion of that coming to Malaysia, and we think it will come quite soon. Looking farther ahead, the US has recently announced a pledge of 500 million vaccine doses to low-income nations, starting later in this year and then going on into next year. Beyond vaccines, the US has also worked to support Malaysia's ability to respond to the pandemic, including through about $2 million that's been used to fund personal protective equipment and assist refugee communities. Our collaboration with Malaysia on vaccines and PPE will help us climb out of this pandemic. But the focus of Virus Hunter is how do we educate our youth and teach them about preventing and mitigating the effects of future pandemics. Projects like Virus Hunter are designed for that purpose. So we hope that thousands of young people across Malaysia, including those who are online today, will experience Virus Hunter with the guidance of their teachers, parents, and other mentors along the way. And so they learn about the origins of pandemics, the science behind the incredible success of vaccines to combat COVID-19, and why it's important that countries work together to prevent future global pandemics. More generally, they can learn about STEM careers, that's science, technology, engineering, and math careers that put them at the forefront of preventing the next global pandemic. It's vitally important that we introduce young people to these STEM pathways so we have a cadre of youth passionate about STEM who take up research that leads to scientific breakthroughs that help us prevent, detect, and respond to future disease outbreaks. As some of you may know, Virus Hunter was originally envisioned as a physical, hands-on exhibit, complete with youth workshops and interactive sessions created by our friends at the Penang Science Cluster. And I was so glad to hear Mr. Peng saying that that will be part of this program when we can. Once we're further along the pathway, we look forward to welcoming students all across Malaysia to the exhibit. And that will visit 5 cities in peninsular Malaysia, as well as going to Sabah and Sarawak. But until then, we have the Virus Hunter website, which I think is being launched today. It's available in both English and Bahasa. It offers a comprehensive experience that we hope is useful to students, parents, teachers, all looking for meaningful ways to teach young people about our current difficulties and the kind of cutting-edge thought and research we will need to avoid a similar situation in the future. We hope that Virus Hunter gives young Malaysians a view to their own potential to pursue careers in STEM and play a role in that next generation fight against pandemics. More simply, I would just say, if you're a young Malaysian watching this, you can decide to become involved in this career, and you can make an impact. These challenges are going to continue. So before I end, I want to wish all the best to the young participants who will begin their journeys through the website. And I wish you good luck in earning your Virus Hunter badge. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, Ryan. I agree that we have to look ahead and think of how we can better cope in the case of future pandemics. I sincerely hope that this project will encourage our youth to start thinking of their potential role in pandemic preparedness in the future. We'd really like to thank the US Embassy again for your support and involvement in making this program a reality. We would not have been able to make it without you. Thank you. Now, let's welcome Tan Sri Dr. Jamila Mahmud, Special Advisor to the Prime Minister on Public Health, to deliver her remarks. Tan Sri Dr. Jamila.
Terima kasih, Ili. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera kepada semua. Yang saya hormati Tuan Duta Besar, Ambassador Brian McFeeters, Tuan Uy, selaku pengetua Penang Science Cluster, guru-guru yang saya hormati dan anak-anak yang saya kasihi. Selamat datang dan terima kasih untuk memberi saya satu peluang untuk mengucapkan sekadar dua. Saya kena cakap bahasa Malaysia, kalau tidak saya malu dengan Ambassador Brian McFeeters ya, sebab dia sangat fasih dalam bahasa Malaysia. Jadi saya rasa sangat gembira kerana program Virus Hunter atau pemburu virus ini diadakan, kerana anda adalah merupakan saintis-saintis kita pada masa depan yang saya harap dapat juga membantu seluruh dunia untuk mencari punca dan juga rawatan untuk pandemik masa depan. Jadi ini adalah satu tanggungjawab yang saya rasa kita semua kena pikul pada masa depan, kerana seperti dikatakan oleh Duta McFeeters bahawa penyakit zoonosis ataupun yang didapat daripada haiwan akan lebih berleluasan dan menyebabkan outbreak ataupun pandemik pada masa depan. So saya switch to English now. So I'm especially delighted to be here because this is a subject matter that is so dear to my heart, and that we are living the pandemic times today. You know, it's so important to include young people and teachers and in getting the education sector involved, because we all know that this pandemic has affected everyone. When I talk to young people, I see in them a lot of sadness, the fact that they're losing on interactions with their classmates and their teachers, and that life is not the same anymore. You know, learning from a digital device is good when you have the right connectivity and you have the devices that you need, but not everyone has the same access to digital education. Now, the Virus Hunter Project is so important because knowledge and information based on science and evidence is so critical. You know, we live in a world where information flows freely and misinformation flows more freely. So it's so important that we get the right science and the right evidence to our young people, because not only because we want them to be inspired and to be knowledgeable, but unfortunately, young people are also being affected by the disease. In Malaysia, majority of the cases of COVID-19 are not among 60-year-olds, so they're among young people. And I think that, you know, we are seeing now with the variants that are emerging, even younger and younger children are being affected. With this program, it is my hope that all of you will get enough knowledge, a better understanding of how the virus affects us, how it transmits, and what might be the ways we can, you know, combat this infection and stop its spread. At the end of the day, the successful management of a pandemic really requires community participation. And community participation means you and me, your families and your friends. And this can only happen and progress if we have the right knowledge. I love the way that you are capitalizing on the digital space to educate young people, because this is the way young people learn nowadays, and it's something quite easy for them compared to people like me. But more importantly, this signals a very strong partnership. I'm really especially thankful to the US Embassy here and the US government, not just for partnering on Virus Hunter, but the support you've given us through this difficult time, particularly with additional vaccines from your administration. And I just want to, on behalf of the Prime Minister, say thank you very much for that very valuable contribution. As we move along and learn about the virus, it is also my hope that young people today are more conscious of why we are in this situation. The pandemic didn't happen out of the blue. It happened because we, as human beings living on Earth, have violated and damaged our environment. We have damaged what we call the planetary boundaries that keep us safe. So as you progress and get older in life, as you become entrepreneurs, businessmen, teachers, professors, government officials, you also commit that your footprint on Earth will be as tiny as possible with the greatest impact on humanity and the environment. Only then we will begin to see a decline in zoonotic diseases. If we can restore our environment, restore our planetary boundaries, then there is hope for the future. And in this time of, I would say, despair in Malaysia, where people are very sad, they're under a lockdown, you know, they can't get back to a normalcy of life. I also urge you to encourage your parents, your teachers, and yourselves, if you're above 12, to get ready and get your arm ready for that vaccine. It will help us get back to normal at some stage. And I'm excited to see the virtual tour going around, and I hope that there will be opportunity for us to interact, and you can count me in as your supporter to the Virus Hunter program. So with that, I just want to thank you once again for inviting me and for this opportunity, and all the very best for this Virus Hunter program. Thank you so much.
Terima kasih, Dr. Jamila. Yeah, we should definitely respect the boundaries and the space that nature needs to thrive without affecting us negatively. We actually do cover that specifically in our website and also our physical exhibition. I personally am in awe and so happy that our young people have a fellow Malaysian role model to look up to. I hope our youth, boys and girls alike, will feel encouraged to choose STEM as a study and career pathway in the future. We also appreciate the persevering effort invested by the Ministry of Health to ensure that the health and safety of all Malaysians during this time. The doctors and nurses are the real heroes in this story. Thank you, truly. As mentioned earlier, one of the components of Virus Hunter is a physical exhibition that will be placed in partner states across Malaysia. Let's watch this video tour together to have a little taste of what the exhibition would look like. One of the components of Virus Hunter is a physical exhibition that will be placed in partner states across Malaysia. Let's watch this video tour together to have a little taste of what the exhibition would look like. We would like to thank our partners in Kuala Lumpur, Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu, Sabah, and Sarawak for making this program accessible to our students everywhere. Let's hope that the situation improves and we can experience this together soon. As part of the Virus Hunter project, we also created an educational website, which will serve as an interactive digital exhibition. The website will be used by teachers and students in schools all over Malaysia. Let's check it out. Let's give this a moment while we sort this out.
Apologies, the video was playing on my end. Give me a moment. Sorry about that. We are Gina and Elias. Join us to learn more about viruses, pandemics, and vaccines through our online Virus Hunter exhibition. Go to www.virushunterexhibit.com to start your journey. First, choose your language on the top right of the screen. Now, you're ready to start your mission to become a virus hunter. Complete activities and collect stars to earn the Virus Hunter medal. In each section, there are new things to learn and discover. Are you ready? Let's go! Click here on the right to learn more about the current topic. On the left, you can find fun facts, information about careers, and other cool information. Don't forget to always complete the activity with the star icon to collect stars. Once you collect all stars, you will be rewarded with a Virus Hunter medal that you can share with your friends and family. We hope you will learn a thing or two with us in this journey. Let's do our part in preventing pandemics.
We are super excited to get this program to our students. Thank you to the Ministry of Education for facilitating our efforts to get this to them. We hope you like what we have in store. With that, we have completed the launch of the Virus Hunter project.